Welcome friends and spiritual travelers, Mystic Owl here, aka Nathan. Today we're talking about the upcoming full moon, which is occurring at 8 degrees 38 in the sign of Taurus. So it's a full moon in Taurus. This is a very special full moon because it's actually a blue moon, which is a very rare occurrence. It occurs maybe every 2 to 3 years. A blue moon is when we have two full moons in the same month. So the first full moon occurred on the 1st of October, which was the full moon in Aries. And this is the second full moon in the month of October, on the 31st of October, or the 1st of November, depending on where you are around the world, full moon in Taurus. It's also, so blue moons are very auspicious occasions. They're meant to be very lucky. It's a great time to set intentions and to actually ask our angels and guides to help us guide us through certain challenges. Ask for what you want and really believe that it can come true with hard work and discipline, of course. Also of importance for this full moon is that it's Halloween, which is All Hallows Eve in, I guess, the Celtic sort of tradition. This is a time during the year when it's believed that the veil between the material world, our 3D world, 3D reality, and the ethereal realms are thinnest, basically, and where we can make contact with spirits and our guides or even passed on loved ones. It's a great time to ask for answers if we need clarity on a certain situation or troubles that we're having. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a great time to set intentions and to really communicate with our guides, let them know what we want. I'll touch on some of the other aspects of this blue moon in Taurus during each of the individual pick a card readings, but I just did want to talk about the fact that it's also conjunct the planet Uranus on the 31st of October. Uranus is the planet associated with sudden changes of awakenings, epiphanies, and downloads of information. It's very dramatic and chaotic energy. It's like something happens very suddenly in a sense. So it is a period, remembering the moon and the full moon associated with the end of a cycle, like climactic energy, vitality, the moon associated with our desires and what we need. When it's conjoined the planet of Uranus, it's just, I guess we have a sudden understanding about what it is that we need to do, finding clarity within, working out how we can actually make our bigger dreams and desires come true, getting that clarity that we seek. And since the veil is thinnest over Halloween, it's a great time to really get a deeper understanding about what you want, how you can push forward with your dreams and goals. Noting also that the full moon is in Taurus. Taurus is the zodiac sign associated with sensuality. It's ruled by Venus, all about the five senses, enjoying what this 3D realm has to offer, and also associated with our values, what it is that we believe in, the things that we want, and the things that we want to work towards. So this really is a great time to get sort of clear about what it is that you want to produce and push towards within the next year, the end of this year, and moving into 2021. But moving on from that, we have the pick a card reading here. So we have 4 piles today to talk about the upcoming full moon in Taurus and how it's likely to affect you. We have pile 1. You have the rune of Gebo. Pile 2 with the rune of Jira. Pile 3 with the rune of Taurus. And pile 4 with the rune of Ingwas. I'm going to use these runes to sort of get an overarching theme for your reading, and then touch on the oracle cards and further tarot cards to get more insight about what's likely to occur for you coming in with this blue moon. So please choose one of the 4 piles. Maybe have a look at the symbols of the runes again to see if it sort of ignites something within your soul. Remember, this is a general reading, so take only that which resonates with you and leave the rest behind. And on that, let's get started with pile number 1 to find out how this blue Halloween full moon in Taurus is likely to affect you. Hello and welcome pile 1. You have the rune of Gebo, which is the rune, it says here, gifts and relationships represents the letter G. Exchange of gifts and compensation, generosity, balance and hospitality. So Gebo is the rune of the gifts, as in maybe an inheritance or somebody gifting you something. Or it's a period in time where you just feel like giving over yourself to other people, being of service to others, being very generous. Noting that this blue full moon is in Taurus, which is the planet of the five senses, of sensuality, enjoying the finer aspects in life. It might be a time where you're actually feeling like inspired to be social and get out and maybe try and lift other people's spirits up. Start showing yourself off a little bit. You could be the gift, potentially, pile one. So a gift to other people is what I'm seeing. Or it may be, it could also be a period where like you receive gifts from other people. Obviously, Taurus being an earth sign of material, our values and our assets, you may be receiving a gift from someone. But let's find out from your oracle cards about what else is coming your way with this blue full moon in Taurus. You had the full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. Okay. Oh, wow. And you have the new moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. Okay, that's beautiful. Wow, that's never happened in a reading before, that I've got the same two cards. You may have Leo quite prominent in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising. I am a Leo moon. Maybe you're a Leo moon too, pile one. You have the card of Truth, 25. Ooh, okay. I love how this woman is playing a harp, right? And Leo rules the fifth house of creativity, of having fun, of putting yourself out there, being shown, like showing yourself off to the world. I sense that this is the gifted group. This is the gifted group, right? Pile one of my creatives, my talented, gifted viewers. And what I am seeing is that maybe you're gaining the courage to actually put yourself out there a little bit, pile one. And I think what you're trying to do right now is to find the happy medium, the balance between getting the confidence to show yourself off to the world, to speak your truth, to show your talents off, your creative talents to the world, to be the leader and stand up for what you believe in a sense. And also between like not being too cocky, not letting pride get in your way. You're finding that happy medium right now. This is a great opportunity for you whilst the blue moon is in Taurus, and remembering it is a blue moon, so this is a time of miracles where miracles can happen. It's also the time where we're closest to our spirit guides with the being All Hallows Eve or Halloween, the time where the veil is thinnest between the material realm and the ethereal realms, where we can make contacts with our guides and our past on loved ones and our ancestors and stuff like that. So I do sense you need to trust that guidance that's coming through to you, noting that the truth here can be like a sudden realization of epiphanies of within, sudden realizations of your own truth about who you are, what you have to offer while you're here on earth, what gifts and talents you have, getting clarity about how you can proceed in life, chasing after the things that you want, pile one, is what I'm sensing. But most definitely I just see it being a period where I think you want to be magnanimous and show yourself off, to be generous to other people. Like try and maybe give gifts to other people, show yourself off in a sense is what I'm seeing. Remembering that Leo he likes to be very playful and to lift other people up in a sense, to be a leader by encouraging other people to be their most authentic self through being your own self, by living your own truth, by expressing yourself in the most authentic way. So I think right now you're being encouraged to believe in yourself, pile one, that you have some certain talents or gifts that you're meant to share with the world. And you're being called to, like, I guess, find that balance between getting the confidence to do it, but also to make sure that you're being real about who you are and not sort of trying to be something that's bigger than yourself, or to be somebody that you're not, in a sense, is what I'm seeing from the cards. It's a beautiful time for you. I think you can definitely rely on some confidence sort of brewing from within, from the subconscious, trusting that you have the skills and the know-how to actually show yourself off and be your authentic self is what I'm getting. Our next oracle cards. We have the card of Take Action. There you go. Ooh, and you also have the card to look for a sign. This is interesting. I love how the lightning bolt is coming through. And the angel here is like holding a scepter, receiving downloads of information and epiphanies from above, right? Noting that the planet Uranus is conjunct the blue moon in Taurus, which is a time where like we can get sudden realizations about our path, who we are, what we want, what we need to do, how to overcome certain challenges. And it's a time where I think we can really trust in those things. So if you are wondering what your next step is, I am seeing here with these cards that I see a group that is creative, that is talented, that wants to show yourself off to the world. You have a gift or something that you want to express anyway is what I'm getting, pile one. And I think you're just trying to gain the confidence to do it. Maybe you're not sure what the first step is, or if you're supposed to do this even. But the answer is yes, you are supposed to take action. This is the thing you are supposed to do. Go out there and get onto it, pile one is what I'm seeing. But if you need some assistance from your guides about maybe what the first step is, or even just clarity about whether this is right for you, this thing that I think fills you with joy, that makes you feel alive, that sparks, that reignites that passion within you, then ask your guides for a sign. Right now is a time where I think we're in close contact with our spirit guides. So if you need confirmation about this, maybe ask them for a certain sign. You can ask for like repeating number patterns. You could ask for a feather to fall on your path. You could ask to see certain animals, whether it be actually out in nature or even on TV when you're watching a TV show, on a billboard, on the back of someone's car, something like that. Something that just gives you confirmation and affirmation that this is the right path for you, that you are supposed to express yourself to the rest of the world, to be a gift to humanity in a sense, by sharing your talents and your gifts with everybody else. That's what I'm seeing from the cards. And I really sense that you just need to believe in yourself, where the confidence is the key to success card there, the New Moon in Leo. I am also seeing a group that I sense is probably quite alluring, that a lot of people find quite attractive. I know that really doesn't actually have much to do with this reading, the theme of this reading, but it's just something that I'm picking up on the cards there with them. You know, both cards, Full Moon and Leo, with the big mane, beautiful locks of hair. I sense there's something about you that people just find really softening and appealing. They like being in your company, and I think maybe you need to believe that that's something that you're supposed to share with other people, pile one. Help lift each other, like other people up. Encourage other people to stand in their power and to follow their dreams, in a sense. Moving on from that, let's get some further messages for you from the Standard Rider-Waite Tarot. Something else I'm also noticed too, that finally, after about 2.5 weeks, the planet of Mars, which is the planet of action, right? Taking action, going after the things you want, has finally broken free of a transit of a square with the planet Pluto. And during this period, it was a time where we couldn't see the rewards for our efforts, that all of our hard work wasn't really seeming to like make gains in reality. But now that that has finally ended and we're broken free of that square, we can start to see the rewards for the things that we work on. Any work that we put in actually has gains. There's an upward trajectory. So I sense that maybe if you've been feeling a little frustrated that you've been putting yourself out there, if you have actually been doing this in the past and you weren't getting the recognition that you were after or the rewards for showing yourself off, then I sense very soon after this after this full moon in Taurus, you'll start to see the rewards for your efforts. Noting that Taurus is an earth sign of practicality, right? Getting grounded and actually doing the things day in, day out that get you closer towards your goals. I think that hard work and perseverance now, taking action, believing in yourself, having the confidence to continue to work and show your gifts off to the world will actually start to see rewards and get you closer to achieving your goals, pile one. But yes, once again, if you're having doubts, then ask for a sign from your spirit guides. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile number one? My creators, my talented, my leaders that want to change the world by inspiring others to be themselves. Ooh, okay. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 1. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 1. So you have the 5 of Swords there in reverse, and the 9 of Wands. I'm sensing that maybe other people have been getting you down. That there's some people in your life, pile 1, that don't believe that you have the talents or the gumption to make this dream come true. And you may have started to allow them to get to you a little bit. So the 9 of Wands can often be like taking a break from a hard challenge in life, from a difficult journey, whatever, all of the things that you're experiencing in life are just kind of getting to you. So you're putting a wall up to take a break, attending to your wounds in a sense, taking time out. I sense that you're starting to realize that you need to separate yourself from people that don't believe in you, that there may be people around you that think that you don't have the skills or the gifts to like stand out from the crowd. And I really think that, yeah, you need to walk away from them. That's not true. This is a very talented group. And the cards are definitely indicating that you should show your talents, whether it be music or singing or poetry, doing tarot on YouTube, whatever it is for you. With both Leo cards here, all about like being in the limelight, expressing yourself, being authentic, taking charge and living the life that you want. Leo lives the life that he wants, essentially. You are supposed to be successful. This is what you're supposed to do. And there you go, you have the 8 of Wands, which goes really well with take action. The 8 of Wands is all about moving forward, fast progress, having success. So yes, definitely believe in yourself, pile 1. You are supposed to stand out from the crowd. You are supposed to share your gift with the world. You are a gift to the world in a sense, and you inspire others to actually do the things that they want, is what I'm seeing. So during this full moon, this blue full moon, where miracles can come true, I think if you trust in the messages also, the messages that you're receiving from your spirit guides about what it is you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to get one step closer to your goals, then anything, the world is your oyster is what I'm seeing. You're going to go far, most definitely. This is your North Node, right? This is the thing that you're supposed to do. So just believe in yourself and believe in the messages that you're receiving from your guides, because they're trying to push you towards like building the confidence within. That's all I have for you, pile 1. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I wish you a beautiful day, and let's move on to pile 2. Hello, pile 2. You have the rune of Jura, which is the rune of the year, Jura year. Peace, prosperity, represents the letter J. Piece of land and in the heart, patience, movement, and harmony. It kind of is like, it's the rune associated with harvest, about finally being able to harvest the fruits of your labor, in a sense. All of that hard work is coming into fruition. So in a sense, it's about success. It reminds me a lot of the 7 of Pentacles in the Standard Rider-Waite Tarot, where you finally start to see the rewards for all of the hard work. So maybe you've been going through a rough period, pile 2, or at least some challenges. You weren't seeing the rewards for the work that you've been putting in. But I do sense it's going to be changing for you, noting that it is a blue full moon, which is all about miracles happening, right? Miracles coming true. And being the full moon in Taurus, associated with like earth energy, getting grounded, doing the things day in, day out that will lead towards success, finally being able to like have the material gains associated with the work that you've been doing. But let's get some further insight for you from your oracle cards. You had the first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. Interesting. Well, that's not surprising with the Jera card. I was touching on maybe having a bit of a rough time and not seeing the rewards recently about the work you've been putting in. Of note also, just prior to this full moon, for about 2.5 weeks, the planet Mars in retrograde in Aries was actually squaring Pluto in Capricorn. And this is a really disharmonious aspect where I guess it's easy to get frustrated with a lack of progress, not seeing the rewards for the efforts that we've been putting in on whatever it is that we've been working on in terms of like our work, at work in a sense, or even like personal things that we're trying to change, our personal issues, trying to overcome certain challenges. Maybe it's been a lot harder than you could have imagined. But now that this transit has completed, where Mars is no longer in a square to Pluto, we can actually start to see like the gains and the rewards for the work that we're doing. So perseverance is actually being rewarded in a sense. You have the new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Interesting. Ooh, and you have the number 19, healing grief. Okay. Ooh, so maybe what you're working on recently, Paul, too, is to overcome a hard time. You may have lost something or someone that was dear to your heart, and so you're currently going through grief. And I think maybe what the cards are indicating here with your commitment is being tested. And meditate and contemplate about taking time out to spend time on yourself, right? Time in reflection, time alone. I think you're really being called, in a sense, to actually feel the feels, to go through the emotions, allow the emotions to surface, to sit with your emotions and process them, in a sense. Because in order to like be free of grief, to move on and to see the light again, we need to actually process those emotions and allow them to experience them, in a sense. If we try and like push forward and not actually do the grieving, it kind of just manifests in other ways in life, and we end up having a lot more challenges than we have asked for in life. So I think maybe you're being forced, in a sense, to address any healing that you need to do. I sense that maybe you've had a hard time this year. Maybe the pandemic has got to you quite deeply and you've been feeling it quite harshly. Noting that you have Pisces too, who are very sensitive, a water sign that tend to feel the emotions quite sensitively. So this may have been a challenging year for you with Jera here, right? You haven't actually seen the rewards for the efforts you've been putting in, or at least even you've been feeling a little bit stuck. You're not making progress because I sense there's some healing for you to do. But on the plus side, you do have the Jera card here, right? Which indicates rewards. It indicates finally starting to see success. So I sense you're in the process right now of actually starting to heal. You've been allowing yourself to feel the emotions. You're moving on, starting to move forward and to see the light again at the end of the tunnel after a bit of a dark period, a dark phase for you. You've chosen to actually spend time on your own or in reflection about a certain experience, and starting to see the blessings for that experience even potentially is what I'm seeing. Interesting. You have in the near future. And you have the remain positive card. Okay, beautiful. Ooh, that's a positive side, isn't it? In the near future and remain positive. This does indicate that you are coming to the end of a bad cycle, is what I'm seeing. I really am seeing a group that's probably had it really tough this year. And it may be because you've experienced more than just the pandemic. You may have lost a job, you may have lost a loved one, had a run of bad experiences potentially. And it's just really got you down, but you've been forced, I think, to actually do the work and to go through the motions, go through the emotions in a sense. And I see you coming out on top. Noting that this full moon is in Taurus too. Taurus is a very sensual, loving, ruled by Venus. They're all about sensuality, aesthetics in a sense. So I just think that just around the corner you're going to start to see the beauty in life again, is what I'm getting. That if you remain positive in the near future, you'll see things starting to turn around in your life, the blessings of life once again, starting to reap the rewards for your hard work of having to go through a really rough time. It may have also been a time where you just felt a little bit confused too, pile 2, like you were unsure or uncertain as to why things weren't working out, why you were feeling a little bit down and low. I think we just need to remember sometimes that we're human and that we go through ups and downs too, that we're not always feeling great. We're not always at our peak. We have days where we have no energy. We have days where we're mentally just low and we can't function properly. Today was one of those days for me. I actually started with piles 3 and 4, and I didn't feel as connected as I am with this reading. So, we go through waves, basically. But I do see the light at the end of the tunnel here, which is the positive message from this reading, absolutely. I am also seeing here, too, remembering that this blue full moon is occurring on Halloween, which is an auspicious occasion where the veil is thinnest, right, between the material world and the ethereal world. So this is a great time for you with the New Moon and Pisces card here to really connect quite deeply with your spirit guides. Pisceans are, I guess, the most psychically attuned of all of the zodiac. They are generally aware of the intangible side of life. So it's a great time for you to maybe ask any questions for guidance from your spirit guides, pile 2. If you need clarity about why you've gone through a certain experience, if you need clarity about what it is you're supposed to do next, if you need clarity about, the bigger questions in life, now is a great time to ask, to spend time in meditation and set the intention to actually get the answers that you seek from your spirit guides, is what I'm seeing also. And I think that clarity will come in the near future. You'll have an understanding about, why you went through some hardships, and I guess the blessings that will come out of those hardships. Moving on, let's get some further messages for you, pile 2, from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Ooh, okay, there's the first card, the Empress in reverse. Yes, okay. Ooh. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 2? Interesting. So you have the first 2 cards that have come out there, the Empress in reverse and the Judgment card, 2 major arcana. What I'm seeing from that is that of note too, the Empress is ruled by Venus, right? Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So I think this is probably affecting you quite deeply. I'm sensing a lot of sensitivity at this point in time. You are feeling emotions quite strongly, whether that be, I'm assuming, feeling a little bit down and out right now, still processing grief is what I'm getting. It's been hard for you to look after yourself, to nurture yourself, to work through this challenging time with the Empress in reverse there. But I do see you getting through it. This is a massive transformation in a sense for you, pile 2, with the Judgment card here, which is ruled by Pluto, right? That you will get through this, absolutely. The Judgment is a change. It's a rebirth, like changing our perspectives on life, having gone through a hard time, coming out of the darkness. I really think you're going to start to see what's most important to you, what your values are, what it is you want from life, your soul's calling and soul's purpose, in a sense. Have clarity about who you are and what you want from life, in a sense. Which is, Taurus rules the house of our valuables, but also of our values, what we want from life. So I think maybe you're going through a phase, through this darkness, you're starting to see or have an understanding about what's most important to you. Whatever it is that's caused you to feel heartbreak and pain has also allowed you to meditate and contemplate about the bigger questions in life. What's most important to you as a person and what you want to leave behind, what you want to be known for, in a sense. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 2? We're going through a massive transformation. Now, you've also got the card there of Yara, of your time to harvest. It's your year. Now is your time. like a massive transformation. You are coming out of this darkness pile too. It does say that peace, patience, movement, and harmony. Any further messages, please, for pile number 2? Oh, okay. Wow, there was a few cards after all for you, pile 2. Another 4 cards, interesting. The first card is the Chariot, beautiful. Ooh, strength, okay. Wow, look at all of those major arcana. 4 major arcana. This is a really important time in your life, I think, where you are transforming in ways that you could not imagine right now, pile 2. And I sense that during this full moon, you're going to start to see the clarity or have an understanding about why you've gone through a really tough and trialing time is what I'm getting. But you're coming out of it. You've managed to draw upon your own strength. You don't know how strong you are. I think soon you will start to believe that. I'm also drawn to all of the yellow in this card, which relates to your solar plexus chakra. Willpower, like resilience and resolve within to overcome a certain challenging time. And finally, moving forward, having success and progress, leaving behind this negative time and this negative energy, being free of any burdens, like starting to see the blessings and the hardships in a sense. You have the 5 of Swords. You also have the 5 of Cups, right? So I still see that maybe there's a little bit of grief that you're working through. There may have been something that didn't work out for you the way you were hoping for. It may also be a relationship that you had to walk away from, right? With the 5 of Swords in reverse, this does talk about, like, generally this card is about winning at all costs and, like, hurting other people in the process. But I also see it sometimes about having to walk away from relationships that aren't working for you. So you may have lost some people through a hard time in your life. You've had to cut ties with people that weren't serving you. But most definitely a period where you've, with the healing grief card here and the 5 of Cups, which talks about disappointment, this has been a really rough year for you, pile 2. I can see that absolutely. You have the Empress in reverse too, indicating that it's been hard for you to get through this, to nurture yourself. But I do see a lot of positivity once you actually get through this period. I think this period with the full moon in Taurus is where you'll start to see or understand why you've gone through such a challenging time. So just have patience and perseverance, and you will get through it, and life will be worth living again. You'll see the blessings in disguise. I see a lot of positivity here with the Judgment card, the Chariot, and Strength. You're so much stronger than you believe, and all of this will be worth it. All of this has a reason. You are meant to experience these things, and I think it's because you can then know how strong you are, but also be able to use these experiences maybe to help other people going through some troubling times too. I always like to think that the people that go through the darkest in life then hold the space to hold so much more light and hope for others. So none of this is in vain, pile 2, and you will get through it. That's the message I have for you. I wish you well. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to pile 3. Welcome, pile 3. You have the Rune of Taurus. I love how it's like an arrow pointing upwards, right? And not surprisingly, it actually represents the North Star, or the Northern Star, North Star. Or in a sense, I guess your North Node, moving towards your North Node. It says here, Tyr, the god of law and justice, represents the letter T, leadership, authority, and balance. So it kind of also reminds me of the Justice card, in a sense, in tarot. Finding balance within, getting an idea about what your values are and really sticking to them. Like having strong conviction about the things you believe in. And because this full moon is in Taurus, associated with, of interest, both Libra, who is ruled by justice in tarot, and Taurus, both ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet associated with sensuality and love, aesthetics in a sense. I think it's a time where you really start to work towards, realize what it is that's most important to you in a real sort of tangible sense, pile 3. Like what brings you happiness in this 3D world, your material possessions in a sense. But also Taurus rules the second house of our values too, right? So it is a time where I sense you really get a bit more clarity or understanding about what you believe in, what you want to stand up for, what makes you get out of bed in the morning, in a sense, what you're willing to fight for also. So clarity in terms of like your true values and what's most important to you, but also in this 3D realm, what's most important to you, what you really value. What are your valuables, in a sense? Moving on from that. We'll start with your oracle cards. You have the new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. And you have the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. I love how you've got this, the bow and arrow, as in Sagittarius, the archer shooting an arrow towards their goals and really chasing after it, sort of aligning well with the North Star, which almost looks like an arrow too. And you have number 29 in nurture. Interesting. Firstly, I'm just going to talk about the obvious here. You've got two new moons. It is actually a full moon, a blue full moon. So that's quite interesting that you've got two new moons. It indicates that during this full moon, you may be starting something new. Full moons are also about like dramatic energy, vitality in a sense. Sort of the ending of one cycle leading in towards a new moon where we begin a new cycle. So you may be feeling inspired, pile 3, to start something new, or at least sort of to like gather your thoughts about what it is that you want to start. Noting that you have Taurus, which really indicates moving towards your North Node, having clarity about, I guess, what you believe in, what your soul's purpose is, and really fighting towards that. I really see this being quite an auspicious reading in the sense that you've got the new moon in Gemini. It says that communication is key. I think this is about you really getting clear about what you want. Pile 3, having clarity about what you want, but actually also being able to communicate that clearly to your guides, to the people around you that are supporting you and loving you. Really feeling empowered and brave enough to actually go after the things that you want or things that you need to change in your life is what I'm seeing. So I think over this period, the next few days leading up to this full moon and a few days after this full moon, it's a really great time for you to get clear about what your values are and what it is that you want to start to work towards for the end of the rest of the year, moving into 2021 and beyond that. And actually, having the confidence to really go after it, but also to be brave enough to ask for it. Do you believe that you deserve it? Pile 3 is what I'm seeing here. And I think you do, because you've got the new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side, but also the rune of Taurus, right? Which is kind of indicates karma coming back, balancing out sort of your energy. It's your time to shine is what I'm seeing, really, with the nurture card 29. So if there is something that you have wanted to start with the two new moons here, indicating like a fresh start, something new, this full moon is a great time to sort of really reflect upon what it is that you actually want, to ask about it, and to really get clear about how you want to move towards it, to bring it into reality in a sense. And with the new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. This is really supporting you. So I sense that this group is very lucky in the sense that I think you're being supported to really go after the things you really want, making those changes in your life that you know are for better. I think you're being supported to do so. Your guides really want you to communicate with them. And vice versa, I do sense, noting also the Gemini is an air sign, that you're going to have downloads of information, like sudden realizations, I think, pile 3, noting that the full moon is actually conjunct Uranus, which is the planet associated with downloads of sudden awakenings, of epiphanies in a sense. So it's a great time for you to just sit and contemplate about what it is that you want, but also to set the intention to get some clarity from your guides about how you can make that happen. Ask for what you want and then let them direct you in terms of having sudden downloads of information, sudden epiphanies about what it is you need to do or what it is you need to change, how you can get real and dedicated about making these things happen. I'm also seeing here with the new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side, and you've got the card of 29, nurture, that it's a great time to get started on these things too, right? Sagittarius really goes after what they want. Sagittarius likes to experience new things. They learn through experience. So I just see this being a great time for you to really get real about what it is you want and get started on those things that you want too. Because there's a lot of like inspiration and fresh energy behind you. Motivation and dedication I see also in the cards. Your next card, you have the card of unlikely. You also have the card of yes. Wow, okay. That's really interesting because they are like two sides of the same coin, right? One is saying yes, and in another way, one is almost saying no with the unlikely here. Noting that you also got Taurus, right? Which says here balance. It kind of reminds me, as I mentioned earlier, of like the Justice card in Tarot. Getting the scales right. I think it's time for you to really... I am sensing that for you, pile 3, you may have been a little bit confused about what it is that you want, or maybe confused about how you can change certain things that aren't working for you. So you've been toing and froing about whether you should go after something new, whether you have, I guess, the skills and the know-how to make it happen, whether it's right for you in a sense. So what I am seeing here, it kind of reminds me of the scales in Libra, of maybe toing and froing, going back and forth. I just think you really need to trust yourself. Trust in the information that will be downloaded to you during this time. Noting also another transit that's actually occurring over this full moon. For the last 2.5 weeks, Mars in retrograde has been squaring the planet of Pluto, which is a planet associated with transformation and changes, right? And Mars is all about our aggression, motivation, our dedication, wanting to really go out there and do things. But now that this transit is over, we're breaking free of that square. This allows us to actually start to see the progress for our work. During this transit, we may have been able to get really frustrated and down on ourselves because the work that we're putting in wasn't actually getting us anywhere. But now that that square is over and we're breaking free of that transit, it's a great time to actually start to see the rewards for our efforts, to start to like make progress on the things that we're doing. So I sense if you've been toing and froing whether you should continue to do something, maybe having doubt about the things that you want are actually right for you because maybe you haven't been able to see progress in the past. I just sense that you need to get real and actually keep pushing forward with it. That you're going to have the answers that you seek soon. And you'll know what it is that you need to do. So it's a great time for you to like keep moving forward, to keep pushing. Pile 3 is what I'm sensing. Keep nurturing any projects that you've been working on. Continue to put effort in and you'll start to see the rewards. You'll start to see your effort actually having progress and making gains in a sense. With Sagittarius too, ruled by Jupiter, which is all about expansion and growth. Like you are meant to actually start to like now see the rewards for your efforts with what I'm getting. So it's all about you just trusting and continuing to move towards your North Star. The things that you've been working on recently, or the things that you've been changing in your life, like getting your values in order, understanding what it is you actually want from life, are actually meant to be for you. They are aligned with your soul purpose, and you just need to trust in that and continue to push forward is what I'm seeing from the cards. Beautiful reading for you, pile 3. Let's get some further clarity for you. Wow, okay, the card just wanted to fly out of the deck. About what else is coming in for you during this full moon. This blue full moon in Taurus. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile number 3? What else is coming in for them? Noting that it is a blue moon too, right? Which is an auspicious full moon. It's a time when we can really like have success. Miracles happen over blue moons. Okay, well there's 4 cards for you. First card is the 3 of Cups. You have the Magician card. Okay, beautiful. And really not surprising at all, I'm sensing. Okay, well that card definitely wanted to come out. It did, I could see it in there, reversed or flipped over in the deck, but it actually came out of the deck too, so it really wanted to come out for you. Your last card is the Page of Swords. What I'm drawn to instantly is where I place the Magician, unintentionally, but I love how the Magician is like holding the wand up towards the sky, kind of pointing in the same direction as the North Star in Taurus, and also the arrow in the full moon in Sagittarius. really indicating that you are on the path to manifesting your goals, in a sense that you are following your North Node. You've learned what it is that you want from life since pile 3 recently, through probably through a hard trialing time during 2020. You know what it is you want, but now it's time for you to get real, right? I love in the Magician card, you can see that the Magician here is holding the wand up to the sky, in a sense, a rod, like earthing the energy with him pointing to the ground, like not only having the information, downloading the information, having clarity about what it is that he needs to do, but really getting real and like earthing that energy, getting quite grounded and practical to take those steps in reality to make it actually happen. So I think you're coming into a period where you're getting clarity about what it is that you need to do in order to make your dreams come into fruition. And with the Page of Swords here, once again, it reminds me of the new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. I just sense that you are this is a great time for you to get a lot of like downloads of information, epiphanies about what it is you need to do. Really being in contact with your spirit guides is what I'm seeing for you, pile 3. A great time whilst we have the blue moon over Halloween to like communicate with your guides and get real about what it is you want and what you need to do. It's also interesting you've got the 4 of Coins here, 4 of Pentacles in reverse. This card tends to talk about attachments, like not wanting to let go of certain things that weren't working for you. But when the 4 of Pentacles is in reverse, this really indicates that you're letting go of the need for certain attachments, that you're kind of in flow, in a sense, being at peace with what you have and not feeling as if you need anything else to fulfill you, to make you feel alive anymore. You're learning to be in flow with what's coming your way, having clarity about what it is that you want, and having an understanding about how to go after it. And with the 3 of Cups here, there's a cause of celebration, right? I just see a lot of success in your future, absolutely. That you're on the right path, you're in alignment, in a sense, and it's now all you need to do is really get real about it and get practical and make these things come true. It's all up to you, in a sense, right now, pile 3, but continue to trust in the guidance that you're receiving right now, because with Uranus conjunct the full moon, with the moon being in Taurus, all about like grounding this earthy energy, having an understanding about what it is you need to do in reality to make it happen. I really see you pushing towards your goals and your dreams. That's all I have for you, pile 3. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I wish you a beautiful day, and let's move on to pile 4. Welcome, pile 4. You have the rune of Ingwas. I love how it's kind of a void, right? It says here, seed of the god of Ing represents the letters NG or N, which actually happens to be my initials. Transformation into higher states of being, gestation, and internal growth, right? Kind of reminds me of being in meditation where you clear your mind a little bit. Like connecting to your spirit guides, connecting to other realms, in a sense, because meditation not only is about sort of clearing your mind, freeing yourself from the prison of your own thoughts, but it's also when we are able to do that, it's the time when we can have sudden downloads of information or deeper understandings, personal truths come to unveil. So I just sense that this period, the full moon, the blue full moon in Taurus, noting that it is over Halloween, right, when the veil is said to be the thinnest between the material world and the ethereal world and our spirit guides and angels, it's a really great time for you to get some clarity about things that maybe you need to change in your life, pile 4. Get some clarity about the steps that you need to take in order to like progress your life the way that you want it to. Ask your guides and your angels about certain problems that you may be having and how you can overcome them, even to set intentions during meditation about what it is that you want in your future. So I think you just need to like spend a lot of time in meditation and contemplation during this period. I think it's a great time for you to do that anyway, pile 4, because it's a time when you, out of all 4 of the piles with this card, the Ingwas card, can actually set intentions and get clarity about what it is that you want and need. Moving on from that, we'll look at your oracle cards to find out what else is coming your way. You have the 3rd quarter moon. Adjustments are required. You have the full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. Interesting that the blue moon card nor the full moon and Taurus card came out, which I generally would expect to happen during my readings when I'm doing these astrological readings, but it didn't happen this time. Anyway, and you also have the card of freedom, number 6. Okay. So as I mentioned with the Ingress card here, what does it say? Transformation into higher states of being, gestation and internal growth. Right, whilst the veil is thinnest over Halloween with this blue full moon, I think it's a great opportunity for you, pile 4, to get some clarity about resolving a personal issue. You may have had some struggles recently. There's some things that you couldn't get on top of, or just didn't know how to change things that weren't working out for you. I think if you think not too hard, you'll understand or have an idea about what it is I'm talking about. I think each and every one of you in this reading probably has a certain thing that you want to change, or there's something in your reality that just isn't working out the way that you were hoping for. So with the third quarter moon here, adjustments are required, and the full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. I just see you working towards freedom by actually starting to gain the clarity or understanding about what it is that you need to do in order to reach resolution, in order to resolve any issues that you have, and to make the changes. Adjustments are required to make the changes that you need to make sure that this issue doesn't resurface, or that you can actually get on top of a certain personal problem or something like that, so that you can be free of it moving on after this full moon, leading into the rest of 2020 and 2021, being free of a certain burden that was holding you back during this year, in a sense, is what I'm seeing. So noting that also during this full moon, as I mentioned in the introduction, the blue full moon is actually conjunct Uranus, the planet of sudden awakenings and epiphanies of understandings, realizations, sudden chaotic changes, in a sense. So I just think you're going to have some downloads of wisdom and epiphanies of what you're meant to do, how you can make these changes. But also I sense too that maybe things will just change in your reality suddenly without you actually maybe having to do too much. It kind of reminds me of the Tower card in Tarot. The Tower card is actually ruled by the planet of Uranus, because it's all about chaotic changes, things falling down around you so that you can build upon a sudden foundation. Things that weren't serving you or are not meant to be in your life anymore may fall away over this full moon period for you, pile 4. So if there are things that just suddenly start to fall apart, try not to resist it. Just let them sort of go. Let them naturally sort of organically sort of fall apart so that you can be free of certain burdens. Because these things were never meant to be in your future. They're not meant to be part of who you are anymore. So I really think you just need to trust in any sort of epiphanies or downloads that you have. It's a great time for you, even over this full moon, pile 4, to set the intention to make contact with your angels and spirit guides, to gain clarity about what it is that you need to do or need to change, so that you can actually have, I guess, a clear picture about getting real, getting practical, getting down to earth with this full moon in Taurus, about making those practical changes, in a sense. You had the Weight card. Oh, I love this card. I think this might be Archangel Michael with the sword, right? Which is all about sudden downloads of understanding. And you had the Don't Stop card. Interesting. Okay. Well, those two cards are kind of conflicting also, which kind of happened in pile 3 too. Right, and what I see from that, as I mentioned, this does remind me of Archangel Michael with the sword. Like downloads of understanding, downloads of information from your guides, from your spirit team, who are here guiding you, getting you through sort of a challenging time, I'm sensing, for you, pile 4. And I sense that they're asking you for you to wait right now to get, so that you can actually gain this clarity, have an understanding about what it is you need to do. Also noting that making big changes in your life tends to take a while, most things take time in this earthly realm, right? I mean, some things do fall apart quite quickly, which is Uranus energy all day also. But I really am sensing that these things that you are trying to change will take some time. So you need to be patient with yourself, right? With the wait card here. Not only waiting in terms of actually getting all the information that you need, so you know, have a clear understanding about what it is you need to do, but also waiting in terms of being patient with yourself about making these changes, because changing bad habits, changing things that we used to do day in, day out, really takes time. We fall back upon those routines in a sense, and we really need to draw upon our own patience and resilience in order to overcome certain things that just aren't working for us, or to resolve certain challenges that we've been facing day in, day out for quite a while. But you also have the don't stop here. Falling under a personal issue reaches resolution. So this does indicate that like perseverance and hard work is the way for you to like get through this period. If you are trying to change bad habits or addictions, it's about being patient with yourself day in, day out, about overcoming these things until you get to a point where you can look back upon this period and realize, hey, I managed to break free of these challenges that I had. Or if it's like a challenge that you have at work, or even some sort of like personal challenge, or maybe financial issues or something you're trying to get on top of, once again, it takes time to break free of these problems. So day in, day out, perseverance, noting that you will have the clarity within you about what it is that you need to do, would lead to success, right? You also have the full moon in Cancer. Cancerians are very emotional, very compassionate. I just think that you need to like give this compassion to yourself right now. Allow yourself to feel any emotions that are coming up. Be patient with yourself through this challenging time is the key here for you, pile 4. And know that like hard work, perseverance, and getting on top, changing habits day in, day out is what will lead to success. Moving on from that pile 4, let's get some further messages and insight for you from the standard Rider-Waite Tarot deck. You know, I love that you've got the Ingress card there. It also kind of reminds me of the moon, in a sense, right? Contemplation. I just think that this is a period where you may also be quite emotional too, pile 4. So you just need to allow yourself to like work through any emotions that come to light. But yes, as I mentioned, patience and perseverance is a key for you. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile number 4, who are resolving personal issues, finding freedom, finding, I guess, peace within. Beautiful. Any further messages, please, Spirit, for pile number 4? I don't want to say too much. There you go. Okay, there we go. Right. Interesting. The first card that came out is the 7 of Cups in reverse. And you know what this tends to mean, this can often mean alignment, finding alignment within. Generally, the 7 of Cups is all about confusion or having too many decisions to make, not knowing which cup to choose. In reverse, sometimes it can be about like being quite stuck on making that decision, but it also can be about finding alignment within, like finding peace within, knowing which cup it is and going after it in a sense. You also have the 7 of Pentacles, right? Hard work and perseverance get you closer to your goals. Starting to see the rewards for like changing habits day in, day out. Perseverance will get you closer to being the person that you want and breaking free of any bad habits or overcoming any challenges that you may have, pile 4. I love that you got 2 7s there too. Like strong spiritual connection right now I'm seeing also. Definitely a period with Uranus conjunct the moon for you, pile 4, where you can make contact with your guides, get clarity about what it is that you need to do, which cup to choose from, how to overcome your challenges. You have the 8 of Cups, right? Perfect. And Judgment in reverse, okay. Yeah, beautiful. So the 8 of Cups, is all about walking away from things that weren't working for you. Seeking a higher purpose, going after that ninth cup, which is all about wish fulfillment, finding the right path for you. You're working through some challenges right now, breaking free of some certain habits that aren't serving you anymore, I'm sensing. But you are progressing too. So you've got the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Cups, which is a progression, right? Starting to see the rewards for your efforts day in, day out, making these changes, being really committed. The Judgment card in reverse can indicate resistance to change, as I mentioned. But this is leading towards your soul's purpose. You were meant to go through these challenges in life, I sense, pile 4. If you've had some addictions that you're breaking free of, or just some bad habits that weren't working for you, even some financial problems, or some personal issues that you're dealing with, I sense that you were probably always meant to go through these experiences so that you can learn how strong you are. Resistance also. I like to think that resistance is part of growth, because the more we push against the things that are trying to break down in our life, the closer we get. Each and every time we resist, we get a little bit closer to that just crumbling apart. So resistance is an important part of growth. I do sense that learning to just embrace the changes that are happening right now will allow you to sort of get through this period a little bit easier, because you are, I see, on the path of walking away from those things that aren't working for you towards your soul's calling. So just have patience with yourself right now, pile 4. Allow yourself to feel anything that comes up. This is a challenging time that you're going through, but I do see that you are gaining clarity about what it is you need to do. And I really see that you have the skill set within you to make it happen. Keep pushing, keep persevering is the message for you here, pile 4. That's all I have for you. I hope that resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.